Welcome to Amateur Redneck Workshop. I'm Harold, and this is part 3 of the Indicol made the redneck way. And the most of this particular video is going to be me working on making the little screw for it, and the knob for the screw, and the little swivel piece at the bottom. And you'd say a whole video just for that? Well, yeah. Even without Bozo to help me, I can mess up enough to take a lot of time to make something. And you know how it is. Here I am making mistakes since 2013, so you guys don't have to. You can watch me and see how not to do it, right? So I guess having said that, we probably ought to get on into watching me show you how not to do it. I got several ways. You see all these radius tools? These were a gift from a viewer. And you know, that's always something special when somebody goes to the trouble of passing on something with all that much work in it to you. I'm looking for a round tool to go in here. Unfortunately, these are not it, but they are definitely well made and just right. I think it's kind of special. Alright, I found a round one that I made one time for the lantern tool post. So we'll use him right here. Try to make the little round part. I'm trying to make this part right here. You can see how it's got that little curve. So we'll see how I come out. I'll probably mess it up. That looks relatively thin. Of course, brass can stand to be really thin and still hold together. I may take off a few more thousandths and then stop there. All I need is enough to fold over behind the little knob, you know, which would be a nuisance to make in itself, a tiny little knob. But I've got some farm tools over there, I guess. I was looking all over for a round tool, and there's one right there. And I'm sure this came with all those other farm tools that the viewer made for me. I think this will work out. It didn't take that long to make what I made, so if I mess it up, I can make another one. I know, there's honey oil on it. Now then, what I want to do is make sure this tool is really pointing a little bit over towards the center, so that I can make it this thing have a more of a cup shape in the middle, and this thing is not pointing more over toward the center. That may be too much over toward the center. Yeah, probably so. This one just the tiniest bit. There. That should qualify as just the tiniest bit. I hope. That's for sure, maybe. Not too hot. So we got a little button with a tit sticking out. I'll get rid of that. And then we have to make a piece to go in here. There's no rest for the wicked. Okay, so there's the finished little button with a hole in it, the insides that I can nail over. Next step, maybe since I've already got this piece of brass, cut off a knob for the end for the thumb screw. We need a knurled piece, don't we? Alright, I'm going to tap it a quarter for a quarter 28. So that guy right there. Let me move him back to where I got him on an even spot. I guess I'm going to have to drill pretty deep into there because, you know, I got to have at least 2 or 3 threads, huh? Oh well, here we go. I will not have miscalculated and drilled clean through the knurled part. You never know. Check the depth. Oh. Nope, I didn't get through the knurled part, but I came close. So we'll thread that, quarter 28. That'll be real fun. And then I'll part the little booger off. Lucky for me, there was a practice knurl on one end of this thing. So all I had to do was just drill the hole and thread it. Now I've got to cut it off. And we'll be in business. There we go. Alright, now I've got to find a quarter 24 something. What was it, 20? No, quarter 28. I had a quarter 24 tap also, but I didn't have any listing on my chart to say what drill to use. Okay, so here we are. We've got threaded inside, knurled, all prettified, ready to go. All I got to do now is find a matching thread somewhere. After I knocked off last night, common sense prevailed, and I realized making an odd thread like 24, quarter 24 or quarter 28, either one, just, wasn't practical. And so I came back out and went through a comedy of errors off camera and made another piece that was turned out to be too oddball for me to have a tap for. And so I decided we're going to actually just go with quarter 20. So what I've got here is not quarter 20 because I messed up on doing that too. This is a 5/16 18, but it's going to do the job. And I'm going to make a little spot on the end here where I can put this little button. It's not small enough yet, the little button to go on it. But I've got a brass knob on the other end. I made a whole new brass knob. In fact, I made 2 more. It's taken me a while to get it right. But we're going to go ahead and narrow this thing down to 189 thousandths, which is what this hole is here. I'm not sure what drill bit I used to get that, but I think it was a letter bit. So anyway, that's the game plan. Close to 200 thousandths, somewhere in the neighborhood. Oh darn it! Got to turn the thing on. 215. Alright, so I can see, I think, that this tip is chipped. Get a ragged cut over here. So I'm going to turn off the camera and turn that little tool around a third. Alright, I changed the tool, made a little pass, and now the button fits on the end there. But I've got to reduce the size in a ways and clean up that corner. So just a little bit left and then the screw will be done. Hang on. Alright, you can't see it, but there's kind of a little ball there. And I'll get me a small size Lipton mill and I'll round it off some. Oh, in case you didn't know, in redneck talk, these are Lipton mills. Saw Tom Lipton make a whole baby bullet vise with a file, or most of it anyway. Alright, so here's the screw I'm going to use. Things may not be perfectly proportioned. It just seemed like that was a good size to go for, so that's what I did. And this little guy here is going to wind up out on the end, but I've got to cut across it twice so that I've got 4 little ears to bend over. Okay? So I'm going to mark it and I'm going to cut it. Get this guy and a Randy Richard scribe, and we're going to mark off 2 lines across hopefully the center of it. Alright, we'll try that. What I'm going to do is hold this guy on here so that it's possibly around the center. I don't think that even made a mark. Darn it. Really good, huh? Didn't have it in there very tight. I can see the mark across the center of it though. So maybe I can make one across this way and we'll be set. I can certainly see that one good. It's just a little off center. And this one this direction. I think that's going to do the job. Alright, so I'll get my Dremel tool. I'm going to cut that way and cut that way, and with any luck it'll be just right. And I'm not going to have you witness me mess up if I do. Alright, I decided that I would go handheld to try to show you the cut that I made there. I don't know how far in I can zoom, but as you can see, I cut it both directions pretty close to dead center both times. Not perfect. This one's a little off right here. This one over here, he's a little off, I think. But I think I can bend those ends over now and make it stay on the little ball. And we'll have a little swivel, hopefully. Alright, let's see if I can bend those little tabs over with using a nail set. It might work, you never know. turn it. This is probably premature, except that this guy just screwed on here. So I can unscrew him and then screw him back on. Well, let's see what I've got. It does want to stay there, and it does have a little movement. So, all right. So now all I got to do is unscrew this guy right here. Back this camera up some. So, anyway, I've got some movement, not much, but some. I'll unscrew this guy here. I'm going to run a die down to make sure the threads are good, and then I'll thread the hole in the other piece. Hole this is going in, then we'll get some rods for attaching indicators and things. Close to done. Well, that's all, folks. Y'all try to subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. Leave a comment if you got something to say, and above all, remember, keep on keeping on. Bye now.